Welcome to a new video from the Circuit Coder YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you how to make a 3D effect. How it looks, okay? So you have already seen it earlier on my presentation. You can see how all of this is 3D, okay? I mean, you can turn the mouse and everything, and you can see how the 3D effect seems to follow your mouse, okay? How does this work? This uses stamping, okay? And what this does is that it starts stamping from the bottom to the top, okay? So it stamps a copy of itself, and each time it but the first time it prints it's black so that it melts with the background, and then it starts going lighter until you can see it, okay? That's why it has this 3D effect. I mean, you can look how it looks as if it was melting into darkness, okay? Also, I recently got 200 followers on Scratch, so this is also a celebration, we could say. This is a special, okay? So that's why I made a 3D tutorial today, okay? And remember that you can share your project you make with this tutorial on the show on my studio on Scratch. Okay, the link is below on the description. Okay, I can't wait to see what do you create. Okay, so let's start with showing you the code. And see the code I used. You can start. You can pause the video here to take a screenshot, so that you can copy it on your computer, and I'm going to explain the code that is written here in a moment, okay? And I'm going to show you how to make the costumes and the blocks. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the costumes we need. First, we need to go to the backdrops, and we will only need a black backdrop, okay? Like this. See? It's all black. You just set the brightness to 0, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to change anything. And then you need to make a sprite called 3D effect, and you make a costume, okay? In this case, I'm going to add a black background here so that you can see more clearly what I drew. Here you can see it. So I prefer, it's preferable if you do something white, okay? Because it's the one that looks the better. I mean, if you, for example, use gray, let me delete the background, it doesn't look too good. Of course, you can use it if you want, for example, to simulate rock, but because it uses brightness, like explained earlier, I'm going to explain it more in a moment. It looks as if half of it has already disappeared, okay? I mean, you can only see half of the 3D effect. I'm going to put back the black background here so that you can see well. And I'm going to put this back to white, okay? So you can draw here whatever you want. Okay, like you can even put a scratch cat to test. Let's look for the cat. And see, okay, here you can see the cat. It's too big, and since and because it has a black border, the 3D effect doesn't work too well, but you can see it here with the stamp. Don't worry if it looks a bit pixelated. It's because it's the pixelated effect. Look, I'm going to remove the outlines so that you can see it. The pixelated effect, it's because this uses pen, and stamping uses pen, okay? So if you use stamping, it causes the pen doesn't have as high quality as a sprite in itself. Here you remove the outlines. I know that Scratch Cat looks quite weird because he doesn't have his mouth, but see, it has the 3D effect. You can try this with any sprite, but make sure to remove back borders, okay? Now, I'm going to delete this, our little meowy friend. And okay, so you draw whatever you want. You can add a black background so that it's easier to do, okay? But make sure to remove it afterwards, because since it uses stamping, if you add a black background, it won't work. See? It won't work. So you have to remove it, and it will work again, okay? So then you go to a code, and you have got to code this, okay? Here, we will use this block, but okay, and I'm going to show you how to make the block, okay? Of course, you could add the code without the block, but it will make the 3D effect too slowly, and it wouldn't work, okay? I'm going to explain this. It's because there are two types of ways in which the code runs, okay? One way is on the no screen refresh mode. Look, it's the run without screen refresh mode, okay? So if that you can activate when you make a block, for example block, and you activate run without screen refresh, and all of the code that is here will run, but you won't see the changes. It's not like, for example, if you want to make a cat glide this to a random position, it will not, you will not see the changes if it's on a run without screen refresh, okay? Unlike if it's outside, which will run with the screen refresh, okay? What do I mean by screen refresh? Each millisecond, your screen starts updating and it changes whatever is in it, okay? So if you activate run without screen refresh, it will do whatever is that block, but it will not show the changes until the code is finished, okay? And if you don't activate it, it does show the changes, okay? So for example, how the code is running right now is with screen refresh, okay? I'm going to show you how would it look without screen refresh. See? We can see how the 3D effect starts generating itself, and it doesn't do this on the screen refresh because on the screen refresh, we don't see how it generates everything. We just see the results, okay? So I'm going to show you how to make the block. In this case here we can see the block, but I'm going to create a new one. So it will be copy, so that it doesn't tell me that I can't create the same block. And here we'll put 3D effect on the first input. You put it like this. I'm going to put a copy at the end. Okay, 3D effect, then an input and other inputs. Okay, on inputs, it's so that you can, when you add the block to the canvas, as you could see on the left, you can add an input. An input is, for example, on the move 10 steps here, where you can see the 10, that's the input, okay? So when we create our custom block, which is this one, these numbers are our inputs, okay? So when we make the block, it's 3D effect at X, okay? And then we add an input and we name it X, okay? Then a label named Y, and then Y. You don't need to add the labels. You could just remove this one and leave it and just add 3D effect, but it makes it clearer, okay? I prefer to add labels. Okay, so Y, and then here you add an input of Y, and then here you add copy, okay? Well, I don't need to add the copy, I just do it so that it doesn't tell me that I can't make this in block, okay? So I'm going to create it, and here you will have a define. Wait, oops. Remember that you have got to activate the run without screen refresh. It's super important. Okay, so now then you will have to copy the code that is here, okay? This x and y, it's as if we created a small variable, because the input we put here will be this, okay? So we can fill in this to the go to xy. This is so that we create the 3D effect, and here we put where do we want it. I mean, for example, we can put it at x 70, and it will go to the left. See, I'm going to put it on 0. I put it on 0, 0 because at the stage of the center of the stage. Okay. So then you just copy this code, okay? To get the x and y, you just drag this here, okay? You just drag those x and y. See? I'm going to delete this. And then here, I'm going to explain what is done right there, okay? I'm going to delete this define. So, once you have copied the code, it should look like this. And so, first it will go to a position we gave it on the input, okay? And then it will erase everything on the pen library that we are using, okay? You can get the pen library here, okay? Then it will set the brightness effect to -100. Why? Because the brightness effect, as you probably know, what it does is that when you set it to 100, it will make everything go white. And if you set it to normal, it will be normal with its normal colors, okay? So, if you set it to -100, it will set it on black, okay? Because it's the opposite of 100, okay? And then it will set the rotation down to rotate. Why do we do this? It's because it will start to follow the mouse pointer, but we don't want it to rotate, okay? Because if it rotates, see what will happen? This will happen, and it will ruin the 3D effect, okay? And I mean, I made the don't rotate so that it stays on 90 degrees, and we don't see how it rotates, okay? I'm going to say to don't rotate, see? And it's back to normal. Then it will turn 180 degrees, okay? So it will turn back, move 3 steps, and then it will go back, okay? This will be so that it moves back, okay? It's also, I made this, but you can, if you want to save up more blocks, you can also add -30 steps, and it will do the same thing, okay? I just like this way, but you can also leave it as -30 steps. Then, here you put a repeat loop, and you put a 35 in the input, and this will make it move one step, make it more bright, and stamp, okay? I'm going to show you how it looks. Well, if you click the stop button and then click this block, it will do it slowly, okay? Without the screen refresh, which is very useful. See how it works? It will start printing from the back, and each time it will grow lighter, and it will go forward, which will make the 3D effect, okay? So then it will stamp, okay, what we need, and that way we will make the 3D effect, okay? It's actually really easy. It uses really few blocks. I think that about 30, 40 maybe, okay? So you can make whatever you like with this. I mean, you can try adding layers of costumes, and make, for example, a CD that generates from the bottom to the top, or you can make a 3D effect. I mean, you can make a 3D maze, but that is viewed from the top. There are a lot of things that you can make with this thing, okay? And the best of all is that it doesn't use blocks, okay? So, if you have any creations, you can show them on the studio I have created. Again, the link is in the description. Check it out, okay? I'm sure that you will create really cool things with this, okay? And also, if you like this, you can go to the original project and love and star it. Okay, give it a love and a star. And you can also view the original one that I made on my main account, which is just Rosario. And here you can see the 3D engine, and it also comes with a trail. Okay, probably I will make a tutorial on how to make a trail. Okay, but that will probably be later. Okay, maybe I will also add a tutorial from how to make a 3D maze, okay, using this engine, okay? But for now, this is all, okay? If you want to give me any suggestions, feel free to tell me on my Scratch or on the comments on the YouTube, okay? So, well, really, that's all. Okay, so remember to, if you want to get notifications each time I post a new video, you can subscribe to my channel and click that little bell. Okay, and if you like my tutorials, you can also follow my tutorial account and my main account, okay, which is just tutorial, and my other account is just tutorial tutorial, okay. I'm also hosting follow contest right now, okay, so you can enter it if you want, okay. So that's all for this video. I hope you liked the video, and that's all, and goodbye.